I've seen action in Iraq, Afghanistan, and I've served 4 presidents. Now, I'm
All right, once again, you guys, if you get a chance, go check out Chef Commando Season 1, Episode 1. It features Crab Boss, which is also, who are also on TikTok. What I'm understanding of their business is they're out of South Carolina. And what I thought was really amazing was they got a spot as the first premiere show or episode for Chef Commando, which is the name of the show on that's free on Tubi. And it was on Super Bowl Sunday. And with their crab business. So my question, I'm wondering, how did you guys find that slot? How did you guys find out about the opportunity? Because that's amazing, and hopefully it did really good for your business. Um, Talking about Chef Bush, as he mentioned, he was ex-military. He was chef in the White House. Um, Chef Bush shared a little bit on the show about, how he was raised up and things like that. Um, he talked about, and I mentioned this in a previous video, how his mom always told him about the 4 P's: practice, pride, peace of mind, and push. To never give up and keep pushing. You can do anything. And even though I've been disowned by my mom, those tenets remain the same. My mom used to always tell me, Morty, you can do anything that you put your mind to, or Morty choncho ni hai, do it like you want to do it, which goes to talk about the next thing that Chef Rush did. He came in and he kind of raided the place, gave it an overhaul. And he noticed some things that he felt that they weren't taking their time to do, as if they really loved it and wanted to do it. Oh, and I also felt a man to to say how talented that man is. That big burly guy with a chainsaw, he made this delicate swan sculpture. But I guess if you work for the president, the White House, then you are, that's not something that's new to you to do stuff like that. But to see a guy that's big and burly like that make something so delicate is crazy. One thing that I liked about him, and parallels to my dad again, my dad always said, clean as you go, military. My dad didn't spend 20 years there, but he's like me, in and out of stuff. But he's a good person. Anyways, so Chef Rush, tried to bring them out of toxicity. And he says a new place provides inspiration. And a new place just meant decluttering, cleaning up, rebranding things, just like I'm doing here. Um, he also got them out and away from the cause of their stress. He got them out and about, still adjacent, but quote unquote, supposedly fun. Um, and they learned some about mussels, about snakehead fish, and it's pretty good. One thing that I learned from watching that, they said that they have mussels, they tag them and they release them in the river to help clean them up. So the mussels go to 15 to 20 gallons of water per day. So I don't know how to feel. I feel about that. So does that mean that they're ingesting the water and cleaning the water? And then are you eating things that are waste? I mean, like, if anybody wants to explain that to me, I'm open. I'm open for it. And the snakehead fish, they said, were a good thing because it's a low price point. When they did the revamp, I didn't see too many comments on the snakehead fish, so I don't know. But commenting again on the Mr. Rush guy, his muscles look like they hurt. They do. They look like they hurt, but I get it. Again, from pain, I understand it. He probably wanted to make sure he never got out of shape. He wanted to be disciplined and show that, and he succeeded in it because that takes discipline if you're doing it the right way, which I'm assuming he did. Yep. So the theme of the whole thing I got was never give up. The Crab Boss is on TikTok. They're real people. I scrolled through their page. I didn't see much of her, but I saw a lot of him. Um, y'all hear that dripping? I tell you, it's always something. And I have the spigots, like the what is that? I have the actual valve turned off, so I don't know what that is. But in my opinion, his muscle. I've heard all kinds of things. I know the rat is over there because I heard it a few times today. Like out of the blue. But you hear like boxes or something being knocked over. But anyways, his muscles do look like they hurt to me. But I do love that discipline though. And like I said, the theme of the whole thing was basically never give up. But what really taught me was when they were crying. It was like, what do you do when you can't keep giving and you're not getting anything back. And his thing was like, don't give up on family, kids, and customers. And so I think about that and me and my quote unquote business endeavors. Okay, so I'm not known, I'm not anything, but don't give up, on family, perhaps developing a family of community if I ever get to that level. There has to be other people like me, there has to be needles in a haystack. I always get distracted out of the blue. Like everything will be quiet until I'm trying to do something. But yeah, so I definitely won't give up on that, because there's a potential family out there for me. And when I say family, a family of community. There's somebody, I know I'm not the only unicorn, that, things like I do, um, wants the successes that I want. And not even, when I say success, do you think of something big? No, nothing big, just the basics. To love people, to care about people, and to be able to sustain a living on my own. But anyways, love you, bye.
Headed to Washington, D.C., where a distressed couple
Knowing it's the end. How do you know when you give up?
has lost their passion,
It's only so much more I can give. How do you turn it around?
hurting the
It's not your time to give up.
I felt this young lady when all he asked, and I felt her, and I'm going to tell you why I felt her. All Chef Rush asked, if I remember correctly, was, do you have any questions for me? And her heart just broke. She says, how do you know when to give up? How do you know when to give up? And I felt that so much because, I always joke about that little part in Color Purposes. All my life I had to fight. All my life I tried my best. I really believed, that I would become something special. I really believed that that was in the works for me. But now at 47 years old, I'm just like, yo, should I just push back and just be like, yo, and I felt that, should I just give up? Should I just give up? And this goes back to, what I said that the chef was saying about practice, pride, peace of mind, and push, and never give up. Keep pushing. And the thing about that, when I was young, there was two grade school readers when we moved to the States. I think one was like third grade reader and the other was fourth grade. The third grade one was a red book, and it was published by, I think, Harcourt, Brace, and Jovinick. It was called People Need People. Important lesson. The next grade school book was called Never Give Up. It was a light lime green book. And when I have a chance, I think I'm going to order those books no matter where I have to order them from. But it's not shown, I think, in any of these clips here, but in the actual show, the chef goes on to say, and I feel this 1,000%, no, you never give up. And he gave that information that his mom gave him. He talked about, have you ever been in a situation where you were just about to give up, and right around the corner, the next step is when the wind came, when you were down at your worst. And it's so true. And I've heard it said time and time again, it's like the devil works harder, if you want to call it that. The negative forces or whatever you want to call it, work harder when they know that you're right there about to make that change. Just like, y'all saw me trying to work out. I have my left knee is a little crazy. Right when I don't think I can do another one, what I noticed, because I've been doing it for a couple of weeks, and that's practice, because as you start to do things over and over repetitively, you see a pattern and you see where there are opportunities. And what I saw the pattern of is like when I felt tired and I just wanted to, because I got some big arms or big legs, right? It's like if I had done 2 more reps, I would have made it all the way through. You know what I'm saying? Just 2 more was all that's needed. But with the practice, I learned that that's all that was needed. And I learned to push through to those 2 more. That's why that meant so much to me when he said that. And that lady is so beautiful. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go through whatever's in the clip, and then I'll talk about, like I said, the rest that I saw.
I I'm bringing the discipline I've learned from over 20 years in the military. Get off the ground. We're gonna push together. Push it up. After my initial tell you now, do you want to cook or not?
I don't want
okay.
to train.
You will get the out there. His bottom line and staff morale.
Because of the that's going on, it's not about what you like right now.
It's getting pretty late. When the chef came in, he looked at things that needed to be redone. And, you know, I preach clutter-free all the time. And he talked about that as far as discipline, being in the military. And my dad used to always say, clean as you go. And so when the chef came in, he pointed some things that he noticed about their service. He came into the place. Nobody greeted him. And, you know, what appeared to be two girls were standing and chit-chatting at the counter. And actually, one of those quote-unquote two girls was the actual owner, you know, and he sat there for the longest, mumbling to himself or to the camera and say, you know, hey, he's waiting for some service. And it took him a very long time to get it. Now, the female owner, I'm going to tell you that smile is everything. He also talked about the management, you know, where there was an argument or whatever, where there was some dissension was, again, the amount of sauce that they put on different products could cause it to be too salty and that type of thing. And the people weren't educated on what the different scoops were. I think Micah might have had it right. And I think the boss man might have, you know, they might have, I don't know, y'all have to go watch it. But there was some issues with management. And then with the back of the house, the grills and stuff weren't clean. They were taking shortcuts with the food. They were putting good ass seafood in a microwave and it was leaving an awful smell. And the guy, Chef Rush, smelled it as soon as he came in. He was like, what's that nasty smell, you know? And damn. And that's what it was the stuff. They were putting the seafood in the microwave, right? Then the front of the house issues, like I said, he walked in, nobody greeted him. And then, you know, like with the buckets and things, the branding, it has somebody else's brand on it. He was like, everything in here should have your brand on it. Absolute wonderful. Communication you saw with Micah. And I don't think it always blew up like that. I think that probably, like I said, Micah's probably been disappointed a lot. My heart feels for him. I mean, I think that he's probably been disappointed a lot. And, you know, he doesn't like to be disrespected or disregarded, or I understand. You know, is that the appropriate way to respond? Not really, but I understand, you know, his people. I understand where you're coming from. And then, like I said, with the food prep. So he talked about all that. And yeah. He also tried to build teamwork. And what he said was that, you know, we clean as a team and everything feels brand new because we got work to do. And that's true. You know, all it takes is a little cleaning and it feels like a brand new place. This little cubby hole of an area of my house that you've seen me vlogging in or working out in, you know, that's the first step. You know, it still looks cluttered. You know, behind this dry erase board, there's a whole ironing board full of seasonings. You know, I don't really have anywhere to put up this chock full of seasonings, you know, and I'm not intentionally trying to hide it. It's just that the dry erase board goes better over there because where the hell else am I going to put it? You know what I'm saying? So until I, you know, start pushing back and start working towards the other end of, you know, this section of the house, then, you know, that's where I am. But yeah, it's so important to be clutter free. And it goes back to what he was saying about practice. You need to have the room to practice. You need to take pride in whatever you do. Like my mom used to say, Morty Shonchuni Hai, you know, peace of mind. Always never letting your mind bother you. My mom, I remember when I first started dating, she was like, why are you talking on the phone to this person if they get on your nerves? You know, just hang up. You know, my mom saw the issue, just hang up, you know, and then push, you know, never giving up, you know. Morty, you can do anything that you put your mind to. And for those of us that have parents that disown them, that wisdom that they gave you is still wisdom. Still take it with you to the heart. You know, things didn't work out. You know, they may have found that you were not the asset that they would like to have in their lives, but it's okay. You know, don't let the teachings that they gave you ever go to waste.
With high employee turnover and terrible customer service.
I guess I'll seat myself.
What's wrong with him? It's been almost 40 minutes.
This place needs a physical and spiritual overhaul.
Push! I wanted to hurt.
Rush talked about how to place either the physical and spiritual overhaul. And those are the five tenets that I always talk about, in our lives. We need to make sure that we are checking on our physical health, our spiritual health, our mental health, our social health, and our financial health. So right along the lines of what I'm saying. And again, it's like probably 12:30. I need to go to sleep. This is what I look like when I need to go to sleep. No drugs or nothing. That's what it looks like, but I'm not.